Hi, my name is Erica from the Asian Youth Peace Network and the UN Major Group for Children and Youth. In order to reach sustainable development, it is only possible through collective action, involving different stakeholders such as young people, women, persons with disabilities, ethnic minorities, and other minorities and sectors. It is only possible to attain the kind of sustainable development through equal partnership, as well as investing in resources for them to be able to build capacity at the same time overcome the challenges that they face.
Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody tuning in at Geneva Peace Week. This is Regine Guevara. I convene the IYC for Peace, which is hosted by the International Youth Center in Malaysia and also Asian Youth Peace Network. I am here with my friend, Mr. Alex Wang. So we are here today with our digital product for a discussion on peace entrepreneurship because Alex and I have been communicating, but we actually work in quite different fields. So he's in the social business field and I'm in the peace building field. And we're trying to look at the nexus between the two. Maybe SDG 8, SDG 16, and of course, many other SDGs. That said, I think it's important to work with different stakeholders. So now it's nice that we have Youthink Center here with us to help us explore what does social business mean. And with sustaining peace agenda, peace is really related to every single SDG. Like we can talk about how peace is related to gender empowerment, or with food security and humanitarian affairs, we're able to sustain peace as well. We can talk about climate justice, SDG 13. It's just a matter of looking at peace as a nexus issue and how it ties back to good governance. And of course, diversity and inclusion of different types of communities, of all ethnicities, of all genders, of all nationalities. So, Alex, what do you have to say about how the social business work and how can young people build like their own sustainable models?
Okay, thanks very much, Regine. Maybe that I give a brief introduction about who we are and also the social business model. So firstly, talking about the Youthink Center, we are our Youthink and Do Tank based in Beijing, but we want to try to empower all the young people to learn, advocate, and take actions on different global challenges, including climate change and including other different global topics. So one of our focus and working areas is that social business, how to engage young people on the concept of social business. So the concept of social business was defined by Nobel Peace Laureate Professor Yunus from Bangladesh. For many poor people, if you don't have first dollar, how did you earn the second dollar, and then how did you pay back? This is a problem. So Professor Yunus believed that credit should be a human right for everyone. So everyone, they can borrow, they can have a different program to borrow money. So he created Grameen Bank, and then it shows that poor people also have the credit. And so in the past 40 years, he developed a social business model from Grameen Bank as a successful model in finance sector, but also he used the model in many other different sectors. So in the definition of social business, we all realize that the business is more focused on profit making, but social business, when we create a social business, actually we focus on this or social problem. So we want to solve the social problem. So it is more social mission driven instead of only focus on making money. So after Grameen Bank, there's many different social business created to solve different problems. For example, there's Grameen Volia. Grameen Volia focus on providing clean water for the poor families. But it's not like a traditional charity, like you donate all this money to the poor families. They need to buy it, but in a very low price. So through this kind of social business model, we can succeed the social business, and we can help more people. So Professor Yunus said that a charity money has only one life, but a social business dollar can be invested over and over again. So this kind of model, we call them as social business. And there are many other examples creating in different sectors and targeting different social problems.
Thank you so much, Alex. I think that's quite helpful because, like I said, not many peace builders are aware of the model of social business. But we have here today actually a good bunch of 5 peace builders who are also at the same time, well, for the most part, social entrepreneurs. I don't know if that's how they describe themselves, but there are a lot of definitions of social entrepreneurship anyway. But they in their own organizations, they have their own sustainability models. So we're gonna call each one of them, and then if we can give like short feedback, and we also have our expert who will give his feedback later on, Mr. Gerald Marine, and hopefully we can have a fruitful discussion. Okay, so our first social entrepreneur is Miss Sharifah Norizah. Sharifah is from Malaysia. She is a social entrepreneur from the state of Johor. Currently, through her NGO, Malaysian Humanitarian Movement, with the International Youth Center, she has participated in the community project in the inland area of Sarawak, a rural area in Malaysia, to provide clean water supply to the village people who don't have access to clean water supply for the past 20 years. And they have been depending on the rainwater source. Moreover,
Okay. Thank you for inviting me for this discussion on social entrepreneurship and also peace. Firstly, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Sharifah Norizah from Asian Youth Network, one of social enterprise that I have here. And I'm also an activist in a few NGOs, and recently I'm active in My Humanitarian, Malaysian Humanitarian Movement, where we did a lot of humanitarian projects, especially in inland area, in the remote area of Malaysia, in East Malaysia, which is Sarawak. And we recently managed to organize 3 important water supply projects to Sarawak in 3 different villages. And this is actually supported by the state government of Sarawak, where we collaborate with the assemblyman in the area, and then yes, we get the fund and source of the project is from the state government of Sarawak. And then we went there actually to have a community program with the youth, more to youth development, but we find out that there is a bigger issues there, which is they don't have clean water supply. So that's why we went there and we organized the program. And for my own social enterprise, my focus is actually more to development program for the young women, and also we provide like packages for the schools and also the universities who want to organize exchange program, educational tour, educational program. So from there we get our profit, but at the same time the social impact that we identify is that the students, the participants that involved in our program get the networking, get the bigger impacts in their life in terms of how to know other countries better. For example, we bring the students from here, from Kuala Lumpur, the secondary students, to Korea. So what we have there is that we insert the element of a traditional exchange, culture exchange program, where they will stay in the Korean family house, like homestay. So they will stay like 1 or 2 days there, and then they have to explore their culture, the Korean culture. And then we also bring them to formal tour, official tour to the ministries in Korea, and then to some of the important organization there, so that they can learn about Korean lifestyle, Korean culture, Korean business culture, and everything. So one day, if they, one day when they become a leader, they can remember all that. So this is the element that we want to show, that the element of peace there. Indirectly, they will appreciate others' culture. They will appreciate other people, countries' model. So one day they will remember all that, and then that is the social impact that we want to generate from our program. And the other development programs, like short courses for the young women, we organize like boot camp style, where we insert the element of how to be a good leader, in terms of how they want to promote themselves, how they want to create networking by using social media, how they want to follow a good leader by following their admired leader style. So from there, we get the feedback, and now after a year, we can see the participants who are previously shy and everything. So they are now more involved involved better in the youth development, and also in their own career. So that is actually two main programs for in our Asian Youth Network.
And it's good to hear from you, like our very first youth social entrepreneur, because you're a product of IYC, which is what we launched recently, IYC for Peace. So you mentioned a few, like two projects. One is with the rural water supply. So you kind of addressed SDG 11, or rural urban divide, and also SDG 6, access to clean and safe water, right?
Yes.
And I think like they're very much related to peace, because social cohesion, social development is, of course, contributes to resilient societies, resilient communities. And then the other one, you mentioned another model, which is intercultural exchange programs. Then you added SDG 5 with a gender component. So I think that's also a bit of a more common model for peace building programs. Alex, do you have some comments when it comes to those two types of models for social business? Any advice for Sharifah?
I mean, I think Sharifah is more expert than me, but I think just one point I want to share is that in many successful social business, which we can learn from Bangladesh, from other countries, that the product itself can be a solution, and the product they can sustain the business through the products. So I think that we can so through this, because we aim to solve the problem. So because of this, we will try our best to make sure the product can be most like how to say that in English. The product can be improved better and better, because we want to make sure they will get the best result. But at the same time, we don't want to earn too much profit on it, so more people can buy it. So through this way, we can scale up the quantity of the products sales. I think this is something we need to think about, and I think the hardest part for this kind of social entrepreneurship is that how we can scale up. It's never. I think many people have a great vision or a beautiful dream, but I mean, in terms of scale up, sometimes we need quite a lot experience.
think talking about scaling up the social enterprise, that is one of the maybe most of social enterprise people will have a problem. For example, like my program in earlier stage we focus on international. I mean, bringing Malaysian students to international or conducting program with the international being citizen. But now during COVID, so I actually need to think something that can be done in locally. So maybe from school in Malaysia, we just visit like within the state in Malaysia. So that is the thing that I never prepared before. So maybe this is a challenges during COVID. So I need to think of something new and then to attract the schools, to the teachers to join us. And it's more like sometimes we become like event manager, organizer, but it's we still in line with the focus of social enterprise. I mean social business to give impacts to the clients. But yeah, there is the challenges during COVID. So maybe
I'm
like
glad you brought that up because our next young social entrepreneur, Nyamat, has a different service. So I think it's a service that thrives even with social distancing because they use a lot of online models. So we'll get back to you, Sharifah, and let's listen to our next youth speaker. Our next young social entrepreneur is Nyamat Ula, co-founder and chief business development and legal officer at Peacemaker Studio. In 2019, he, along with 4 team members, established Peacemaker Studio in Bangladesh with the support from UNDP's small grant through Digital Khichuri Challenge Idea Competition. He was awarded one of the national winners from Accelerator Bangladesh 2.0 Youth Collab UNDP in collaboration with City Foundation. He also awarded EMK Center Small Grant Recipient 2020 on Project CSRIYS, countering fitness and radicalization through inclusion of young students. Also interesting.
Thank you so very much for the nice and sweet introduction. Before I start to talk about Peacemaker Studio and our sustainable model, I want to just share one story behind our establishment. In 2012, when I was a college student, I have a very close friend of mine with whom I was singing together, I was traveling together, and we had so many precious moments. After that, I don't have that much communication with my friend for 4 years. And when I was in university in 2016, I was in my library and I was reading a newspaper and I saw news. After reading this news, I couldn't control my tear. My heart was broken. I saw my dead friend dead in a police operation as a suspected terrorist. After that, me, along with some of my friends, we started to promote peace and we started to reduce extremism and terrorism in Bangladesh in different platforms. So we are very lucky to inform you that with the support from UNDP, we established Peacemaker Studio in 2018. The Peacemaker Studio is basically is a social business startup, as Regine said, that where we are providing advertisement service on producing visual empathetic contents and creative videos at an affordable cost. And part of the profit goes into promote peace in Bangladesh by focusing on SDG goals 16, 5, and 10. So that's mean we are actually at a time we are making impact and also we are providing service. So it's our great pleasure to inform you that since last 1.5 years, we provided our service to 8 clients, including UNDP, EMK Center, and other local NGOs in Bangladesh. Also, we reached our online content to 10 million plus online users, and we trained more than 200 young peace builders in Bangladesh. So this is our huge success in just last 1.5 years, I think. And this success happened with the support from some of our partners and our friends. So actually, since 2018, when we were working, we were facing some challenges. As I said, one of my real example that happened with me. Besides that, since last 20 years, Bangladesh witnessed 6 major terrorist attacks, including the Holy Artisan attack. You all know that. And after that, we also observing that the hateful and fake news is spreading in the online. So That's why the online media and the social media, and also in the real field, the people are the young people are getting influenced in the terrorist concept, and also they are actually being violent, and they are influencing to promote the violent contents in the social media. That's why we thought that this platform, the Peacemaker Studio, can help them to solve these problems, especially SDG goal 16. So as Alex said, that Professor Yunus is the role key concept maker of the social business. So we shift our idea in a social business, like as I said, that we are providing service. We have a very good experienced team with more than 10-year experience in the video making, and also they have online marketing experiences. So we're providing that video and advertisement service to the companies, to the corporate clients, and to the organizers who are not getting support to reach their works. We are providing their service, and also we are making impact to promote peace in different media, like in social media, and also in offline. So I want to inform you another good news, that in COVID-19 we designed a peace building training, which we got support from EMK Center to promote our work. So we trained 45 young peace builders from the Chattogram and Cox's region. So these two districts are very important for promoting peace, because in the root level they are facing some problems. So we trained them for in an online training first, then they go to the community. In this COVID, with the health safety, they successfully done their community work for 2 weeks, and then they come to our online class. We saw their presentation, and that was so much impactful. And they have worked with their work with empathy, inclusiveness, tolerance, and interfaith dialogues in the communities during COVID-19. So this is the I think charge. This type of activities giving us the charge to promote our works. So if the region also said that to talk about something is our sustainability, I want to mention that in last 1 year we raised $35,000 from our service, and we got some grant to promote our peaceful works. So in next 5 and 10 years, we have a very strong plan, because we are now established as a peace building organization in Bangladesh. We're also a social business startup. So we are facing some challenges, but we are trying to solve these challenges. So in the next 10 year, we want to reach minimum 50 clients to provide our service, and also we want to reach minimum 2,000 young peace builder. We want to make 2,000 young peace builder who will be working in the different region, different district of Bangladesh to promote peace and to promote tolerance in different media. And we have planned to navigate to operate in different countries. Especially we want to share our works in some South Asian countries first. We already talked with India and some of my friends, and we also talked with Sri Lankan friends. So we are trying to operate in these countries. I think this platform, the Geneva Peace Week, is a great platform. We can talk, and also we can share our idea. So we hope we will get more partner to promote our work. So that's a bit about us. So thank you so very much. Yeah, Regine.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting transition, like from Sharifah that shared more about Nexus, like how these programs are indirectly related to SDG 16, like through water, through rural urban divide and gender equality, to yours, which is directly targets hate speech and countering violent extremism. So that's really the hardcore and also traditional peace building. And then at the same time, for Alex, might be more interesting that yours is you work mostly online, right? Like, so there's not much I can imagine not much difference in experience during the pandemic, but like
Maybe just one follow-up point, that since you're based in Bangladesh, and I'm not sure, are you based in Dhaka or you're based in some other cities?
Dhaka and Chattogram, 2 cities.
Okay, great. I think there's a organization called YY Goshti. I'm not
Yes,
sure you hear about that.
they are our mentor. Yes, they
Okay,
mentored
great.
us for 6 months.
Okay, great, fantastic. So, so this is what I want to say. That number one is YY Goshti is a great program, and also there's they launched last year Impact Hub Dhaka. So I think they were connecting the different social business entrepreneurs, and all these entrepreneurs can actually help each other, and also they have a great network. So this is some idea I got, and then it's great that you already connected with it.
Okay, so our next two social entrepreneurs will be from a major group that Alex and I also both belong to. So they are our representatives from the UN Major Group for Children and Youth. And I think they might have interesting experiences as youth organizations themselves, but also as youth constituencies, because both their organizations tend to coordinate with youth networks, like broader youth groups versus individuals, or like a smaller core team. Saumya is the co-founder and CEO of For Peace International, working on a vision to empower youth on conflict transformation, providing rehabilitation support to Rohingya refugees, and advocating for meaningful youth engagement at the local level. So, of course, she's also with Unite Peace Builders, UNMGCY, Geneva Peace Network, and United States Institute of Peace. Meanwhile, Mr. Anish is from YFeed Foundation, Nepal. He is a youth advocate belonging to Newar indigenous community of Nepal, currently serving as Secretariat and Partnership Coordinator of SARC Youth Platform. He is further working as Executive Director of Youth for Environment, Education, and Development Foundation, YFeed, Nepal, and affiliated with other civil society organizations in different.
We got to know about two different communities of sex workers and Rohingya refugees. And there is a lot of like people are not really open to invest in them. People are not really open to go to the communities and work with them. And especially with Rohingya refugees, there are a lot of restrictions in terms of working with them. Government has not really accepted them as refugees, so we don't see a lot of support in terms of resources for the community. So coming as a youth organization, we wanted to work with the community. We wanted to provide rehabilitation support, but we couldn't really find organizations and individuals or networks really supporting the cause. So, so we had to take a very entrepreneurial approach towards solving the problem and reaching out to the community and working with them. So we started two different projects. One is with the sex workers. That first we got to know what they are most interested in, and also not to really push them into a panic zone. And when we entered into the community, we got to know that these young women and women who are into sex work cannot go out of their homes, and we really wanted them to stop this work and get something which is self-sustainable. So after understanding their needs, after understanding what interests them, we started a kitchen service within the community. So what happened was, in Delhi, there are a lot of colleges, and we have a lot of students migrating. Now coming to Rohingya refugees, so what we did was we created cards which has personalized images created by kids in the school, and messages from the community, and we tried to sell it out to people. So it was a way to raise funds for the community in the challenging times when there is no further support from external stakeholders, with the self-sustainable model that we can create for ourselves. Now talking about it, what we did was we started reaching out to young people and started creating and promoting what peace building is, and why there is a need to work in this peace building space. And this project was in two phases. One is these young people will be trained for 3 days, and we know skills like conflict transformation, negotiation is something that are very much needed in our day-to-day lives.
So young people used to pay for being in these workshops. And on the last day, these young people used to design community-based projects, and we used to provide them funding for $250 to kickstart their project into the community, because we have seen the projects which are started by young people within the communities, and if they get a very small support to start those projects, they can really amplify the impact. They have commitment, they have dedication into the communities. Another thing that we have seen, that when we go with this entrepreneurial approach within the communities, the solutions are not imposed, but they are co-created with the community. Community feels a part of the process, like they don't think that a person from outside has come and they're imposing something. And lastly, it sustains. Like, you don't have to be with that community forever to just spoon feed everything, but they really know how to sustain themselves. And there is a quote, which is a very well known quote, that don't uh, like make them learn how to do fishing rather than just feeding them.
So actually, the youth are the key driving force on the sustainable development, and also a key driving mechanism who engages not only the youth but also the older community, all the peoples, our path as our path directors. We are having a project platform where we have the youth who did not have the capacity or have the power to gain some valuable experiences, or like the training that they can utilize for the entrepreneurship. Like, so if someone is interested on getting a computer education, computer training, graphic trainings, particularly multimedia, or someone wants to have the knowledge on cookery, cooking, and then other technical aspects, we give them the floor and a place to exchange their skills, and to also enhance their
Anish,
skills.
I'm just gonna throw a quick question to the two of you, like as I've said, MGCY members, and we'll get back to Alex later on in our last social entrepreneur. Because you're MGCY members, and you're also like part of huge youth networks, not just more like NGOs that work with very minimum people. How do you manage human resources? Like, how do you manage your staff, and not just staff, but even volunteers? Because I can imagine only a few will be paid staff, right? But like the rest will be more volunteer based, especially with working with MGCY. So what are your thoughts about that? Like, what are the challenges of like youth constituencies, and what have you done so far to address those challenges for volunteers?
Yeah, I think Saumya can go first, and then I will like to add a few of my points. Thank you.
Sure. So, with regard to volunteers, as you have mentioned, that it's very, very tough to align, first to mobilize people and align them with the vision that you have for your organization or in the community. So, likewise, it was very difficult for us to uh, like uh, get them on board, to ensure that this stay with us for a longer period of time. So basically, the sustainability of it. And talking specifically about some of the things that have worked for us are, one is that we do expectation mapping with the volunteers on like what are their expectations, because we might not have a huge fund to have paid staff, but we have a lot of resources, and since we have a huge network, then we have connections, we have resources, access to experts. So with the volunteers, when they come on board, we have expectation mapping. Secondly, we design concrete TORs for our volunteers as well. Like, it's not that people are ready to volunteer. We want to do something. We just had like 50 or hundreds of volunteers on board just to show that we have so many people with us working. So it's, for us, it's very important
Saumya,
to.
I think we're losing you. But I got really good points on expectation settings and tours for volunteers.
And secondly,
I think that's really important, like to.
am I audible now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Saumya, you can go ahead.
Secondly, what we do is we ensure that they have concrete uh, activities to do when they come on board. Like, so we have a proper TOR even for the volunteers, so that their time, their energy, and their skill sets are respected. And lastly, we ensure that there is value addition for them. Like, when they go back to their communities or back to their organizations or back to their colleges, they have concrete learnings from that experience. So we really ensure there is meaningful engagement of volunteers, and also to ensure that there is no exploitation within the process.
Three labels, national, regional, and the global. So I think that, as Saumya said, it's always a challenge to make people stick to our agenda, to our concept, to our vision, mission, and also to the organization, while contributing to the broader goals, or like the things that we are passionate upon, and the things we always talk about. The SARC Youth Platform, we just launched, I think it's only around 2 weeks, and we have just few of the posts in Facebook, but we are receiving a ton of like messages in our social media platform that they are interested to join and support, and how they can be involved. So this is really motivating and interesting.
So we're gonna call our last social entrepreneur, and since we've been talking about peace, why don't we call someone who comes from a conflict area herself, and her social enterprise works with women and young people, of course, from Cotabato City in the southern Philippines. Aziza is one of the founders of Herslaha, a clothing brand started in Saudi Arabia, actually incubated in Malaysia, then finally established in 2015 in Cotabato City. Herslaha Atelier discovered the market niche for modest fashion in Philippines with proud culture, the hand-woven inaol, for a good cause because it helps active women, as I've said, and youth entrepreneurs, and pushing the halal initiative and fashion sustainability. Hi, Aziza.
So I'll be starting the saying through the Merino collectibles, those who are really affected in Marawi City. Through waving, we feel peacefully living. So with that said, it's really important for us to understand. As a reformed youth leader, so when I came back to Philippines, there are a lot of things happening in Mindanao. As you know, the ground zero in Marawi City and the other places in Barm. So what happened was that when we established Herslaha, the first initial point is that we wanted to elevate women who are really affected, whether it's the violence, whether it's in poverty, whether anything in entrepreneur life. So what we happen is that we're elevating their skills through whatever passions they have. During this pandemics, it's really helpful, and it's changed the strategy of each entrepreneur. So we went for a sustainability in line of peace entrepreneurs. So we collaborated with the different brands, local brands, in order to promote the locality, because we know the supply chain has gradually really drastically decreased because of the COVID, and also the productions, the movement, and the workflows, everything has affected in Mindanao. And Mindanao, as a Barm, is one of the poorest region in the Philippines. So what we can do as an entrepreneur, what they call the tribal inaol. So this inaol is something that everyone wearing it tribally. It's like an identity for everyone. So when you have a tribe, you are very proud of wearing it. So that's what we bringing it to a modern perspective, into modest fashions. So this tribe, inaol, we brought it into the worldwide to showcasing what we have, even we are in a conflict. We came out with a solution with the digital marketing, as everyone does as a social entrepreneur. We can't deny it. So we have a platform, like a one platform, where all the locals are gathering together and sharing their thoughts about the product's locality. So that is circulating the economics perspective, and we are supporting one another as a social entrepreneur, and also sustaining the business itself, from sustainability to peaceful, and also supply chain management. So with all this strategy, we have to came out with this. So Herslaha is not just in Mindanao, but we're trying to persuade, we're trying to tell the world what the brand is. So because of the identity, we already know who is the Bangsamoro people, the Moro woman behind the product, that what we are doing.
But what I learned today, I think there are many common things. Number one, I think all these peace entrepreneurs or peace builders are very mission driven. So I think this is very similar to many different social entrepreneurs. But I think for this is a common foundation for both kind of entrepreneurs. Or we can see all these peace entrepreneurs are part of, social entrepreneurs in a bigger category. But I mean, if we talk about entrepreneurship and or social entrepreneurship for all kinds of entrepreneurs, it is the first thing as social entrepreneur we should have a mission or vision we believe in. But that means that once we have a warm heart that we hope, or a beautiful dream that we hope, everyone will get a better life. There will be peace, and we can help everyone in the conflicts, and then other things will automatically happen. I mean, apart from that, what we should think about is still on the projects or programs, or even the social business or organizations we found, that how we can make sure we will have a sustainable model. So we need to spend a lot of time on the product designing, on how to increase sales, how to serve our customer, how to make sure that the organization will run better. I think this is something we need to also spend quite a lot. That it's not only talking about why we are doing that, but also think about what we can do and how to do it. How to do it sometimes really matters. This is the first feeling. The second feeling is that I want to share with you again what I found online. You can also find that Professor Yunus' speech in getting Nobel Peace Prize, and also how Norwegian Nobel Committee comments on that. He said that's why they're giving the Peace Prize to Professor Yunus. They think that lasting peace cannot be achieved unless large population groups find ways in which to break out of poverty across culture, all nations. They think Professor Yunus and the Grand Bank have shown that even the poorest of the poor can work to bring about their own development. I think this is very, very important, that if we can create more equal opportunity, and we can make sure that all of the people in the conflicts can break out of poverty, can make sure that they have a better life. We are contributing to the peace building. So sometimes that if the conflicts are caused by resources, caused by the different reasons, but I think there's one thing we need to really pay attention is that we need to make sure we can help improve people's life in the conflict zone, and this will help to build the peace. I think this is to why, I mean, as a newcomer to the peace building world, I think this is my two main feelings.
Welcome to the peace building world. You're very much welcome. I think that it's not too hard actually. Gerald is the founder of Popo Startup, featured in Time Magazine and the Huffington Post, and he's worked in different multinational corporations like Amazon, AB InBev. He's now in Belgium, and he won the 2018 Youth Innovator Award.
Yeah, so maybe I can just comment bit by bit on the social entrepreneurs whom you interviewed. Really, really great. Well, thank you very much for sharing your stories. Well, first point with Sharifa. I think it's amazing to work in these different SDG topics and different activities. Maybe you just want to ask more about what you're doing is what's your focus. Maybe if you find a real focus on like what you're doing, is it a water supply issue, or also providing intercultural uh, building activities, with sending students to South Korea or things like that. I mean, I just want you to probably to make your efforts more sustainable, and it use your network with more synergy. Maybe it would help as well to find your focus, so that you can also highlight on that, and it would be easier to communicate if you need to find funding, for example, or for other sources. And also, there's a build up or scale up opportunity with your activities. But all in all, I think you're going on the right track. It's just that if we look at the the business aspect of your model or of your activities, maybe the focus would really help to be able to define and communicate your your startup or your community to to your audience, right? Next, but yeah, finding focus is really really key, and I think for the second social entrepreneur, Nyaman, I mean, it's amazing, like the traction that you've built in the past 1.5 years with 200 piece builders. It's really amazing. I think you're also in the right direction with. I mean, it's already given that you're relying more and more online, and online is also where, yeah, with the rise of hate speech, there's really a lot of opportunities we can really do as peace builders, and that's also an opportunity for 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 tech businesses to also integrate um, peace, like the element of peace and avoiding hate speech. I mean, there's social media is already changing, and there's an opportunity to work towards making it better. I know maybe you've heard or seen the social media dilemma in or the dilemma in social media in net on Netflix, and I think that's a good trigger that things will definitely change in tech and how we communicate online as well. Yeah, I guess for me, like with Nyamat, it's really great that you already have great goals in the next year. Like you have expansion plan as well, which is really important. And having that in mind would really help you. And this is for all other social entrepreneurs. Like really have the idea on like not just limited to one project, but to the next stages, like how you scale and expand to other countries, or just briefly outline what your next goals are in the future, so funders can also be interested to help you support that dream, if that's communicated properly. For the third one, so with Anish and Saumya, it's I see that there's actually an opportunity to partner with Nyamat or something. But particularly for skills building, that's really great. To build up the yeah, explore and provide more trainings and opportunities for Rohingyas and the sex workers. So it's a really good strategy. Maybe I can just add in the crowdfunding campaign. I don't know, but you can also explore like success-based crowdfunding campaigns that you will only earn as a as an organization if the crowdfunding achieves a particular amount of goal. So that can also help you and also them to succeed in a success-based business model. I think that's one key that's being implemented, or maybe you've been implementing it already, but that doesn't give burden to the community that you're helping because they don't have to pay anything. You're training them. Plus, you will also earn in the end by, and you will also be motivated to make the crowdfunding successful. Yeah, and the last part, I think the path to market is critical, and I think Anish touched on that. Like it's not just about the product, but how you sell it. So it's really a key part on how you uh like build up that sales channels and have a good strategy, and of course collaborate and cooperate with people or with other successful companies who actually make that happen. I heard, like, for example, in IKEA, there's one company, just a straw. It's a straw weaving company that helps a community, and they manage to put their products on board. And I mean, the big companies are also needs to like add new and exciting and interesting products in their portfolio. And I think that's one thing that you should also work on if you're, and that's a good opportunity because businesses are already changing to really adapt to this better normal. And I hope that I ultimately with this community of peace builders and in the nexus of social entrepreneurship, there needs to be a lot of like cooperation is necessary, like the skills that you have plus the skills that you need. I think you can rely on others to support your intention while making it a sustainable business. And yeah, just keep your energy flowing. I think that's very very important. Get your energy from the community that you're supporting, and also always think of, I mean, if it's your business that you're trying to make it work, just don't think of a particular timeline at the end of the project, but think of the long term situation and then plan from that, and also focus on what you really want to deliver, because and really just don't go into different areas too much, but yeah, have a clear message to tell to your customers, to your community, and to potential funders as well. That's critical, and have a vision to scale. Like always ask yourself, how do you scale? So yeah, I think those are my feedback, and I hope that helps.
So to wrap it up, I think crucial to this nexus is the fifth pillar of youth peace and security, right, which is on partnerships. And this begs us the question of looking at which partners do we engage, of course, because we are all advocates and activists essentially in the peace building field. And then apart from that, there are more technical questions like how do we sell a product? How do we monetize our services? How do we scale? So these are questions that we don't usually ask ourselves as peace builders, but maybe that we should be, especially if there isn't enough government and also industry support yet in this field. So we need, the second question then becomes the self-sustainability models.
IYC for Peace is like an initiative to provide a center as a center for excellence in peace by working with the international, the regional, and also the national institutions around the world to build and bridge the capacities of the next generation of peace builders and also leaders. Okay, what we have in the International Youth Center is actually not only facilities for the youth to come and use, like the accommodation, the seminar rooms, and also other facilities like sports facilities like gym and so on. But we also have like spaces for them to express their creativity, and also for them to learn about urban farming and all. And this is actually something that we want to introduce, the importance of institution um, to provide like peace building programs for the youth, for the young people. And what I love about IYC is actually we link with many social entrepreneurs and also NGOs. Like my social enterprise is one of the social enterprise that engage with the IYC, and we have other social enterprise in Malaysia who come abroad and join us and collaborate with IYC in terms of programs development and all.
Hello, I'm Sharifah Norizah from Malaysia. I'm a social influencer of International Youth Center Kuala Lumpur. Welcome to IYC Kuala Lumpur. Let's go inside.